So hey, so in this video we'll be discussing about objects as such. So objects are basically the data types. So arrays are the data types. So these are the data types which basically stores uh, data. So for example, if we do like how can we create an object? So there are many ways of creating an object. So the most simple way of creating an object is like you can do like this, and then you can define maybe key1 as such. Yeah, key1, and then also then key2, choose. So yeah, so if we log the obj, then you'll get the object. You'll get an object. So this is the one way of creating an object. So there are other ways as well. There's another way of, like for example, let x equal to, there's a method of assign, mm, yeah, object dot assign. So if we do, for example, object dot assign, and then if we create an object, I'm copying this thing only, this is my data. Yeah, and if I comment out this thing and then log the x, it will give me an object. So it's another way of creating an object. So there's another way as well. It is, I think, I think it is, yeah, entries. So entries, object dot entries is basically it basically makes array of key value pairs. So let's see what it actually means. So let y equal to object dot entries as, yeah, entries, object dot entries, and then if we just, let me just copy this thing again, paste that thing, and let me comment out this thing. Yeah, so if we log this value, log y, and if we save this, it will form an array. So it is basically array of key value pairs, of individual, in one index it is basically storing my key1 and huru into it. So we can iterate this. We can use for of loop as well. There's a loop called for of. So if you search for of loop, JavaScript, so in the MDN, so it will give you the thing. So what is for of loop? It is basically similar to for loop only, but it is just a, you don't need to define the indexes and all. So if we do maybe for maybe let and then maybe value, no, keys, and then values of because it is y. So what it will do is it will iterate through each of the indexes of the y, and it will give us the value. So if I do console.log keys and then values, then controllers, so it will form a, it will give us the basically the keys, key value pairs. So yeah, this is the way you can create an object. So these are the three ways you can create. There are many ways as such. I think object dot create as well, so you can define that. So let's see how we can. Okay, so if there is, for example, let obj equal to maybe, so we know that that variable, to define a variable, the variable name cannot be numeric elements, right? So for example, if I do, so you know that this thing, right? So for example, let if I do 1x equal to huru, so it is clearly giving me the error that an identifier or keyword cannot be immediately follow a numeric literal. But if we do 1 equal to huru, and if we console, we log the value of obj, it will throw an error. Okay, yeah. So these are the ways you can create a array, create an array. So let's see some other things as well. So you know that we can't define, like for example, let 1x equal to uh, so it clearly gives us an error that okay, the identifier keyword cannot be immediately followed by a numeric letter. So the name of the variable cannot be numeric. I mean, so so if we define a object, for example, let obj equal to and then one dot uh word- yeah, so you must be thinking that it will give us an error, but the thing is we can create an object by this out of this. So if we do control S, then it will form an object. But uh, if we do if we want to access the value of one, it will throw an error because the thing is basically pointing to a variable. I mean, the pointing to where the jujutsu is stored, right? And that is basically a variable. So variable can't be numeric. So if we do dot one, then it will throw an error saying that it is a syntax. Yeah, so syntax error. But the thing is, in this case, you have to do a bracket operation. I mean, bracket. There are two types. You can do bracket notation and dot notation. So object bracket notation and dot notation dot notation. Yeah, dot notation. So you can search that out. I mean, dot notation and bracket notation. So you can go through it, or I think it's better to pull out the ambient documentation. Yes, yeah, object bracket notation. So yeah, so there's the bracket note. See, these are the two ways you can, I mean, access a value inside an object. So these are bracket notations and dot notation. So if you do a dot notation, you can't access the value, but the thing is you have to do a bracket notation. So by that, you will get a value of the that thing. So you have to make sure this is correct. So there is another way you can like define an object as well. So for example, if let x let y equal to jujutsu, so and for example, if you create an object, you can create an object like this as well. So if you want this, then it will basically give you the okay. What's the other? Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm doing. Yeah. So yeah. So it will give you an object x equal to huru and y equal to jujutsu. So these are the way you can access a value of an object. So the next thing is like foreign again. I mean, how can we iterate through a object? So there's a loop of foreign as well. So you can search that out. Foreign loop. Yeah, for I think it is yeah. So you can iterate through the or through an object as well. So let me take this only. Where's the object? Yeah, let me take this object. Search. Mm, let obj equal to this thing, and then if we do a foreign loop for yeah for okay, that's not what I mean. Yeah, for keys. Okay, let keys and obj expression. Yeah. So if we do this and then log, where is my log? Yeah, console.log keys, and keys are basically my uh, I mean the indexes, and no, I mean not the indexes, I mean the keys and the values. So basically these are the keys and these are the key value pairs. So I mean the values. So together we call it like key value pairs. So the yeah, this is the I mean the foreign loop. And so basically keys are, you can search in the documentation that a different property name is assigned to the variable. So keys are basically, it's a different kind of property that is assigned to this variable. So whatever the variable, I mean variable is. So in this case, it is keys. So yeah, that's how you can I iterate over an object. There are methods as well. I will cover it in another video. So yeah, thanks.